Hi friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Daily News Editorial. In this channel, I cover editorial page section of different newspapers regularly. In today's video, I will be covering the lead article of the Hindu newspaper dated 3rd of August, that's today. So let's begin. Fathoming Sero Survey data with caution. The data from the ICMR's fourth National Sero Prevalence Survey have clear implications for the situation in India today. The past 2 weeks have seen the release of the fourth National Sero Prevalence Survey for COVID-19 as well as the reporting of data of sero surveys independently conducted by state governments such as in Tamil Nadu. The data from the Indian Council of Medical Research conducted National Sero Survey are truly remarkable, indicating that between December and January, when the third Sero survey was conducted, and July 2020-21, at least 40% of the population of India, over 500 million people, were exposed to the novel coronavirus, of which a small proportion have antibodies because they were vaccinated. The data also show for the first time that over half of all children tested have already been infected, which is expected and reassuring. Not from infection alone. Such a high rate of infection seems incredible and, if true, needs to serve as a warning to India and the world because it shows the consequences of a combination of variants, inappropriate population behavior, and delayed implementation of public health measures. It is, of course, evident that all of the seropositivity did not come from infection alone, but given that the seropositivity rate was 67% and the sero survey reports that a quarter of eligible adults were vaccinated, a large proportion of the antibodies resulted from detected and undetected infections in the first or second waves, with a sharp seropositivity rise indicating that the bulk must have occurred during the second wave, with less than 32 million positive cases, of which many may be positive more than once, and and the likelihood of waning antibodies, leading to some of these previously infected testing negative subsequently. The seropositivity of 67% is an underestimate. There are other caveats as well. Although the sero survey methodology is similar to previous rounds and sampled individuals in 70 districts in 21 states, it is not clear how representative the survey really is. Given the reported two-dose vaccine coverage of 13% in adults, which is much higher than the national average at the time, and then known high heterogeneity between and within states. This is where state level data can be useful. And the third Tamil Nadu Sero Survey, conducted in over 26,000 participants and compared to previous rounds, allows comparison of at least district level information. Data from the states. The National Sero Survey data indicated that Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, Rajasthan, and Gujarat have over 75% seropositivity, while only Maharashtra, Assam, and Kerala were below 60%, with Kerala the lowest at 44.4%. Although heterogeneity across districts is likely, the fact that the national sero surveys were repeated in the same districts allows for some comparison of seropositivity rates over time. For example, in Kerala, when the national rates were approximately 0.7%, 7% and 24%, the corresponding rates were 0.3%, 0.9%, and 11%. during the first three rounds of serosurveys, showing a consistently lower exposure than the national average, but a large increase between the third and fourth serosurveys. If we examine the data from Tamil Nadu, where the state-led serosurveys were done in October 2020 and July 2021, some figures jump out. There appeared to be no change from October to April at the state level, with 31% and 29% positivity. But then there was a massive increase to 66%. Comparing the ICMR survey in three districts with the 38 district surveys of the Tamil Nadu Directorate of Public Health shows that the ICMR serosurveys found a seropositivity of 43%, 24%, and 31% in districts of Chennai, Coimbatore, and Tiruvannamalai in the serosurvey in December 2020, January 2021. The corresponding figures from the state serosurvey were 41%, 22%, and 36% in October 2020, 49%, 20%, 34% in April 2021, which rose to 82%, 43%, and 68% in July 2021. Some districts showed a marked variability, with the central and southern districts showing significant declines in antibodies between October 2020 and April 2021, followed by a large increase in July 2021. For example, Madurai went from 40% to 19% to 79%, and Thoothukudi from 39% to 21% to 72%. Explaining variation. What explains these variations and how can these data be used at the national state levels? First, there was inconsistency in the assays used for antibody estimation, with the ICMR using an ELISA test that measured antibodies to infected virus in its first round, and then switching to a method that measured antibodies in nucleocapsid and spike proteins. Tamil Nadu used a chemiluminescence method for all its assays, while serosurveys in Delhi, Mumbai, Pune, and other local serosurveys have used different methods, which means that some of the variation may be due to the testing methods which have varying sensitivity and specificity for antibodies directed against different viral antigens. Second, the sampling methods across serosurveys have differed, with the ICMR using a cross-sectional survey in 70 districts that were decided based on reported cases, with some lack of clarity on how villages wards were chosen, while others have used population proportion to size, directed and convenience sampling. Third, the age group have varied across surveys and with time, and not all serosurveys have reported age stratified results. Fourth, antibodies decay with time, as illustrated in data from Tamil Nadu's first and second serosurveys. So, analysis need to account for the underestimation of exposure. There are many other considerations of analysis, such as the proportion of people included who have reported previous SARS-CoV-2 infection or exposure, or the proportion vaccinated. But in general, serosurveys more accurately reflect the experience of the population with an infectious agent than reported cases. This is especially true in India, where without targeted effort and sometimes despite detailed research. It is not possible to discern the regions for testing, the numbers of individuals that have contributed to cumulative testing, the locations where tests were done, or the types of tests used, all of which are essential to understanding the strengths and limitations of the data on reported cases and the test positivity rate. Reported cases represent the tip of the iceberg for a virus that can cause asymptomatic infection or result in mild symptoms that are not distinguishable from other respiratory viral infections. Serological data has value of public health because knowing where and how many have already been exposed to virus gives a clearer picture of how and when infections have penetrated the population. The data from the ICMR's fourth National Seroprevalence Survey therefore have clear implications for the situation in India today. The Kerala example. When Kerala is reporting the bulk of country's positive cases and has a reproductive rate of infection of greater than 1, how concerned should we be? Seropendemiology, seroepidemiology shows that the state has over 18 months been able to limit the exposure to its population, and vaccination data indicates that the state is outperforming most others. In general, the healthcare infrastructure has not been overwhelmed, deaths are low, and shortages of oxygen and hospital beds have not been reported. Relaxations of restrictions over Eid on July 21 are likely to have resulted in cases which should peak in the first week of August. But there is a need to ensure continued population compliance with restrictions, particularly with Onam approaching, and a need to ramp up vaccination. In fact, given Kerala's success in controlling the virus so far, a key consideration should be whether states and districts with lowest seroprevalence should receive a greater proportion of the vaccine while supplies are limited. The immunity gap identified in Kerala demonstrates the value of serosurveillance and the need to ensure that we continue to use this very valuable tool, not just to record the history of viral circulation in India, but also to inform decisions going forward. At the state and district levels, what can be changed based on zero survey data? Increasing vaccination in areas with the lowest exposure in parallel with ensuring high testing levels and healthcare system preparedness in areas with high vulnerability are immediate responses. However, zero surveys need to be continued and the data integrated with testing, vaccination, and clinical data. These are needed to understand ongoing infection rates, age distribution of infections and cases, where variations could be driven by seasonal coronavirus exposure, vaccination, and the effort of waning antibodies, all of which will be essential to inform policies on the need and use of booster doses and long term system preparedness. Gagandeep Khang is Professor, Christian Medical College, Vellore, Tamil Nadu. That's end of the article. If you like my video, please subscribe, like and comment. Thank you.